I'm David Bolt.
I'm Richie Mackay.
You are listening to the Wrong Buyers Balls podcast. On today's show, we have England International and Whiteknight's Indoor Bowling Club manager Andy Knapper, who has kindly agreed to come on the show via telephone. So we'll be having a chat with him about things at the club and how his season's going, and he will be going through my 7-up questions. We've also got John Booth, who is the business consultant of West Denton Indoor Bowling Club, and he's coming along to sit with us today and discuss the upcoming World Indoor Championships, under 25 championships at the club, which starts on the 2nd of December. So it'll be interesting to know how preparations are going with that. We will also have Richies Round-up, and on Richies Round-up he will be covering a lot of results and a lot of information, and this one we have got the Welsh Premier League results, which I'm really looking forward to hearing, because when I spoke to him the other day I did have to tell him that it isn't pronounced Llanelli, so we'll be interested to hear how he pronounces some of these Welsh teams. I do apologise during the interview with John if you do hear any untoward noises. We did have Bob the Builder in the room next door to us, so there was a little bit of sawing going on, but hopefully you won't be able to hear too much of it. And we'll also be doing our regular competition. Thanks again to Alex Marshall Sports, who provide our prizes, and we'll be doing it slightly different this time. It will be a question, but we're going to be doing a comment, like and share on Facebook to not only help ourselves but hopefully make it a little bit easier for yourselves. Well, Mr. Mackay, our third show, seems an age since we did the second one. Obviously now we've gone to a fortnight. I was twiddling my thumbs last weekend. I didn't know what to do with myself.
It's a lifetime, mate. It's like a lifetime.
It did make us think, do we maybe look to shorten it in the future? But I think we've got quite a bit on to start with, so I think fortnightly is quite good at the minute. But I've been absolutely astounded with, obviously we see the stats that come through on our Buzzsprout page, and the stats that we've had are just phenomenal. I'm blown away by them. I don't know if I think you've got them there, haven't you?
I mean, we're just shy of 900 players, so hopefully when the third episode goes out, we'll see that 1,000 player email popping up on Facebook. We're now on all 11 podcast stations. We've finally hit Apple iTunes. We're on Spotify, TuneIn. If you're wondering what TuneIn is, that's your Alexa. And if you want to actually play it on Alexa, all you say is, Alexa, play podcast Wrong Bias, and away you go. You can also listen to on our website, which is getting plenty hits, and we're also getting plenty hits on the Sunderland Bowls website as well, mate.
It's brilliant. We started off doing it and we didn't know how it would go, and as far as we were concerned, it was just a case of let's try something and see how provides a bit of information, a bit of entertainment, and everything I've seen so far, touch wood, I'm sure there might be plenty to come, but everything's been really positive. Where our numbers are growing daily. I mean, our followers on Facebook, I think, are close to 600 now as well, and it's just really, really nice to see, and people seem to be responding really well to it.
Yeah, I mean, all the feedback we're getting has been good, mate. It's probably like some negative feedback of anybody, just to say, well,
we've always said it, haven't we? I mean, the negative feedback in a lot of respects helps us to improve, or if there's something that people switch off for because of something that we do, then we'll try and avoid that, or we'll just do it even more because we're like that, because we're horrible. but no, it's one of the comments I've heard is I've got a really nice voice to listen to. Correct? Yeah, I bore myself listening to my own voice, so that took us by surprise as well. So yeah.
But I do believe you were looking in the mirror when you were saying that.
Well, I didn't actually want to say that, but the same bloke said I'm extremely good looking and I'm doing a great job as well. So yeah, I think you're right. But no, it's really, really good, and hopefully, again, as we keep stressing, please get in touch with us. Please let other people know about it. Any players, anybody who doesn't play the sport, I might just encourage them to maybe take it up one day. But yeah, thanks very much for all your comments and all the support, and long may it continue, and until we get to the point where people don't think it's a benefit, then we'll continue to do what we're doing.
Welcome to Richies Round-up, and I hope this catchy backtrack drives you potty. Cue the music. The new Bowls England chairman has been confirmed as Devon's David Tucker, while the junior vice president will be Leicestershire's Deepak Tanna. Both start their roles in February 2020. Best of luck to both. Over the next few months, I'll be keeping my eye on the national champions' title defence in the various competitions. Whenever you hear this noise, then we've lost one. Now, there are two national titles that you don't want to retain. That's the Denny Plate and the Yetton Plate, because it would mean for the second year running you've gone out in the Denny Cup and the Yetton Trophy in the first round. Happily, in the Denny Plate, Huntingdon won't be defending their title, as they're still running in the Denny Cup. They're into the last 32 and they play St Neots. Meanwhile, in the Yetton Plate, Sutton won't be retaining their title either, as they managed to progress in 2 rounds in the Yetton Trophy before losing to Egham. And we lost our first 2 national champions in the men's pairs. Whiteknight's Rob Newman went out in the first round, 18-16 to clubmate Andy Knapper. And in the women's under-25 singles, Devon Cooper from Hartlepool River Rain went out in the first round to Welford's Hannah Smith 2-1. She didn't tell us about that on the podcast, Davey. If you wanted to see behind the scenes at the Thomas Taylor Bowls factory in Glasgow, there was a cracking little programme on ITV this week. It was called Made in Britain. If you missed it, it's still available on the ITV Hub or Catch Up TV. It's well worth a view. It's like a bus service this. You expect 1 and 2 turn up. We lost another couple of national champions. In the under-25 inter-county double fours, Kent were beaten by Essex by 20 shots, while in the men's 2-ball singles, Huntingdon's Nicky Brett went out in the first round 21-9 against City of Eels Dale Spring. The Open Singles Circuit Grand Final was held at Potters. In a cracking final, Westallcott's Neil Smith defeated Falcon's James Rippey on a tiebreak. It was a case of deja vu for the Falcon lad as he lost in last year's final. And we've got some information from Wales, from the Valleys, as the Premier League, the Club Championship, has entered round 7, and Cardiff, 7 times defending champions, raced into a 43 points lead at the top of the table after beating Lionelli 16-6.
Lionelli? Is that Lionel and Messi?
Lionelli? That's the way you pronounce it. It's Lionelli, the way it's written. It's Lionelli. Anyway, moving on. Swansea beat Cannon Valley 18-4 and Port Talbot lost 17-5 at home to Izzywin.
Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy. You do realise if you ever walk into Wales, they're going to kick you all over.
Luckily for me, Merthyr Tydfil had a bye and Ben Gwent had a bye. I must apologise to our Welsh listeners if we've got any left.
If anybody could just drop us an email and let us know how those pronounced, I will pass it on to Richie for the next podcast.
I apologise.
We now catch up with Whiteknight's Andy Knapper.
Andy, how are you doing?
I'm really well, mate. Really well. Yourself?
Not too bad at all, thanks. Not too bad. Thanks very much, mate, for doing the podcast with us today.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure.
It's great to have you on. I thought it would be really nice to have a chat about the club that you manage, obviously Whiteknights, and just have a little bit of a catch-up, really, Andy. I haven't seen you for quite a while, so I thought we'd use this opportunity just to go through a couple of things and let us know how things are going, if that's all right with you.
Of course, mate. Yeah, no problem at all. Things are going well, mate. The club's doing pretty well so far this season. Kind of a decent start, and hopefully the next few weeks are kind of quite critical in us converting the final few members, really, that we've got in through our sort of coaching scheme. But yeah, we're looking good on the numbers at the moment, and if we can get these last few through the door and finalised, then it's been a really good start to the season, mate.
Fantastic. I see quite a lot that you do on social media, which is fantastic, and I know we've talked on quite a few occasions of how to go about things and how we need to see this sport go forward. What exactly have you been doing, Andy? Obviously, to get all of these numbers in, I've seen you've had some fantastic open days. So I just think it would be nice for other clubs to know exactly how you went about it. Did this come from the committee, or was it your idea? And how's the recruitment gone with regards to numbers?
We've kind of got a board of directors, and my job responsibility sort of is to report to those guys. We work quite closely within kind of a remit of how we want to try and progress the club forward. We have set up a smaller group within that, call it a focus group, that we look at particularly kind of membership marketing and development. And within that group, we tend to be the focus stroke, think tank, I suppose, for ideas of how we try and move the membership forward. Now, we sort of have a group of us then that sort of divvy up tasks, but in essence, we have 2 open days at the start of the season, and we send out 50,000 flyers to locality. There's a kind of marketing program then that we would put that across social media, and we had a front page advert on one of our local magazines to try and promote the club, and through that we had 122 people through the doors for the 2 open days, and so far we've got 77 of those have joined the club.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
It is amazing, and it just goes to show it's no easy task, but clubs do have to think differently. We've got a lot of good things we can use now with regards to social media, and 50,000 leaflets going out is no drop in the ocean, but these are the things that you've got to do just to try and get 122 people through the door. But it's also really important that you follow up and do the right things, and you obviously have, because obviously you're well over the 50-60% mark of converting the people through the door to actually joining the club, which is what it's all about. So it's an absolutely tremendous job you've done down there, Andy.
No, well, it's a massive team effort. There's a big group of us that get involved. Got a number of volunteers through the club as well that support on the open days. We kind of structured it a little bit differently this year, and we focused on the actual open days being a bit more of a kind of community feel to it. We gave them a lot more information about the club, tried to keep them in the club for a lot longer on the day, and we really made a huge effort in terms of laying on food and drink, and giving them a real detailed kind of view of the club, and that seemed to really work well. We got another we do a 3rd open day in January, and that's linked really to, hopefully, that we link it to the time that Bowls is on TV with Potters World Championships. It's the one time of the year that we do get a little bit of TV coverage. The hope is that maybe 1 or 2 people think that's for me and come in and give it a go. But that said, I think we're a big club, we've got a good membership, but we really do need to, as with any club, you lose a lot of members through just general age and health and illness, and for every 100 that you're getting in, really you're probably only ending up with net 30-40 every single year, because you'll always lose so many people just through natural causes, and that's the battle we all face. But I think you hit the nail on the head. It's no good sitting and waiting for people to come and do it. You've got to go out there and try and crack on with it yourselves.
Absolutely. It would have been quite easy to sit on your laurels and say, well, we've got 77 new members, we don't need to do anything else. But it is a case of just keep driving, because like you say, out of those 77, if you just continue to keep topping up with net 30 or 40 every year, then the club's going to be in a healthy state for the future. So that's absolutely tremendous. And I did see that you've similar to my club, South Shields, you've changed your tops, and it was nice to see the design on there with the knights. So I was quite interested. Similar to what we've done, is this something that you're looking to the future to maybe do a little bit of a rebrand and call the club the Knights with regards to your teams, or was it just a simple matter of just changing the tops for sort of promoting the club in a better way?
I think initially our first instinct was that we needed to have a product that sold the club in a better light. I think that there's a lot of good work that's gone on in the club, and maybe, no disrespect to anyone before, but the shirts we had didn't reflect on the, competitive side of the club that we wanted to promote. We spent a lot of time with Steve Broom of Bowls Trader to put the shirt together, and Steve did a fantastic job, come up with the ideas alongside the Knights logo. I think moving forward, we discussed it actually today at a meeting about the potential. We talked about, the Vipers and what's going on with you guys, and I think that in years to come, then why not? It could be an option to look to give some more branding to these things, and then potentially there is a bit more of a market moving forward with competitions, etc., and trying to sell the product, because at the moment we're so far behind, Australia and BPL and APL and all the various bits that are going on. We really do need to step our game up if we want to try and compete with these guys. We're worlds apart at the moment.
I agree, and I do personally. This is just a big personal thing from my point of view. I'd just love to go down to national finals and see on the board Vipers v Knights, for example, instead of just South Shields versus Whiteknights. And it just it's a small thing, but I think it's a step in the right direction. And I think it would be great if 5 or 10 clubs follow in the near future. And yeah, I think it can only be a good thing and just a little bit of a change. But moving away from that, sorry to put a sour note on the next bit, but you were at the grand final of the OSC at the weekend down at Potters. Didn't quite go to plan. I think you finished third in your group. Andy, how did things go?
Yeah, it's great with Ken. My first experience of Potters and also the grand final for the OSC. I only really started going into it last year, and I'll be honest, when I first started, I was a little sceptical of kind of whether I'd enjoy it or not. Quickly found that it was a great game. It's so well organised. The guys behind it have done obviously a great job. But yeah, no, the weekend was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I mean, probably in hindsight, took the wrong set of bowls. Should have maybe looked at taking something a bit wider. That said, I had opportunities to win both my first games. Just didn't play well enough. Both the guys against me deserved to win the first 2 games, and then came up against Shadders the last game. He was through, I was out, maybe both a bit more relaxed, and I managed to nick a win there. But had I probably got over the line, certainly in my first game, I probably would have got through then. I haven't picked up a losing point in the second one. Really good.
With the speed of the green, it's not the fastest green in the world. I think you either go one way or the other. You either go with something really tight or something that moves quite a lot, because I do find the lines are very tricky on that green. I actually found the bowler's bar better than the main arena, but yeah. I think you do learn from your first one. It's certainly, it isn't easy on there, but you can only beat what's in front of you and play what rink you're on. But like I said, I did see your update, and I know it hadn't gone completely to plan, but the main thing is you've obviously enjoyed it down there, and it seemed to be a very well run competition as always. And the organiser Neil Smith obviously came away with the win as well, and is grand final winner for this year. So that was good to see. So apart from that, Andy, your season so far, you were talking, I mean, your teams, are they still going in top clubs, Eghams, Denny's?
Yeah, we're not doing too bad. We're still in the Denny and the top club. We lost the Egham to Desborough, kind of local rivals. I only play in the Denny myself personally, but no, the club's doing well. The ladies are still going in the Yetton Trophy as well, and that's a fantastic achievement. They've done a lot of work, and they're getting developing a good side as well. And I think as a club, we're starting to potentially be one of those teams that people are talking about, can go on and win these things. And I don't think there's many teams realistically that are that we're probably looking at 8 or 9 that could go on and win it, and I think we're starting to get amongst those as one of the talked about teams.
Excellent, that's great. It's nice when you get that feeling in the club as well, because you just feel, I think, I don't know, you just get a positive vibe from the club when things are going well with the teams. Do you tend to find that there's more people are coming to support the teams because of this as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've started to see, especially a lot of the newer guys that have joined the club and new bowlers that are coming in. We always try and really push that side of the club with people and encourage them to come down. We do a lot of posters and advertisement around the club, a lot of email drops about when we're playing and various bits that are going on and timings during the day, and it does slowly seem to be getting bigger, crowds coming down to watch. Obviously, like everyone, we'd love to have, more people coming into the club for that. But on the whole, no, really, really positive. There's a good feel around the club. Definitely. Fantastic,
and that's great. It's nice to walk into a club like that. I was certainly starting to feel that way as well, and has done for the last couple of years. So, what we're going to do now, Andy, if it's okay with you, is just quickly move on to my 7-up questions, which is just 7 questions. I just need a quick off-the-cuff answer. You don't need to think about it too much. Only takes 30 seconds or so. So, are you okay to start?
Let's go, mate.
Question 1. Favourite green?
Definitely Hartlepool.
Balls used?
Aero Quantums.
Korma or Vindaloo?
Vindaloo, Bolty, you know that.
Best match you've ever played in?
Probably this year's National Triples final. That was a pretty tasty affair.
Great stuff. Toughest opponent, either individual or team?
Definitely Alex Marshall, no doubt about that.
Ronaldo or Messi?
Got to be Messi, innit? Got to be.
Controversial. Future ambition in the sport?
Love to get back to the Commonwealth Games.
Fantastic. Great stuff, Andy. That's your 7-Up questions. Thank you very much. And just to finish up on, Andy, obviously with regards to your international career, great to see you back in the fold. It was a massive shock to everybody that you weren't obviously part of the outdoor team last year. Great to have you. Great to see you back in there. Unfortunately, I'll not be part of it this year. But speaking from personal experience, you're a massive team player to have in there, not just for your ability, but also for what you bring to the team. So it was great to see you back in there. And I would like to say, hopefully for the next Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, it would be great to see you there as well, and I'm sure you'll be trying your hardest to get there.
I appreciate it, mate. Yeah, obviously, disappointed when I didn't get picked, but you get time to reflect on these things and move on. I felt I had to bounce back this year and try and prove a bit of a point, and managed to get myself back in the team, and now I've got to try and kick on and see what comes of that. I feel like I'm playing pretty well, but there's a lot of good players around there, and obviously all the guys that are in the high performance squad at the moment are all capable of getting in that side. We just got to push on and hopefully win a few more bits and see what comes of it, mate.
That's it, and it's credit to you for not, people could have just said enough's enough and disappeared into a corner and sucking their thumb and spat their dummy out. But you proved this season. You came back in the Nationals and obviously had a great run down in Leamington and in quite a few of them, wasn't it? So and obviously won the triples. So absolutely fantastic, and I wish you all the best for the future, Andy, and obviously look forward to catching up with you soon and really appreciate you coming on for us today.
Cheers, Davey. Appreciate it, mate. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Not a problem. You too, Andy. Take care.
Take care, mate.
Bye now.
All the best.
Right, and it's competition time. So what we thought we'd do this week on this show, because we've got a lot of listeners, but the numbers haven't been, what we'd expect for a free competition. I think we only had 18 for the last one, so we're going to try and make this one a little bit easier. Just a couple of little instructions to do. And the competition this week, we're actually going to be playing for a Amazon Fire Stick 4K, which is a nice little prize and also enables you to be able to listen to the show in the future. So, very simple question for this one, but what I need you to do is after 7 o'clock on Friday, when the podcast will be broadcast, I need you to go onto the Facebook or Twitter page, and I will be putting a post on there with the question. And what I need people to do is go on, comment the answer, so people will see the answer, but it's quite an easy one. But I also want you to like and share our post if that's possible, please, and that's both on Facebook and Twitter. For those of you who don't use Facebook or Twitter, we don't want you to miss out, so you can also use our email address, wrong.bias@hotmail.com, and drop us the answer on there. So the question: which bowler would you associate with a cap and a pipe and was prominent in the 70s and 80s? And just a clue, it's not myself or Richie. So if you can go on and, as I say, from 7 o'clock on Friday, comment, like and share on Facebook or Twitter, or drop us an answer on the email address, and you're playing for the Amazon Fire Stick 4K. And thanks again to Alex Marshall Sports for the prizes that you provide for us and your support.
You are listening to Wrong Bias Podcast.
Right, and we'd like to welcome John Boo, who's on the show today. And John is the business consultant from West Denton Indoor Bowling Club, and we've got him along today just to discuss the World Under-25 Championships that are going to be held from the 2nd of December. So welcome to the show, John. Thanks very much for coming.
Thanks, David.
Basically, how's things going at the moment? How's the preparations going?
Preparation's going really well. We were awarded the competition in December, so we've had almost 12 months to prepare for it, and we've had a multitude of volunteers to help us with that. We've got all the basics in place now, ready for the big opening next week.
Fantastic. Has any of the teams arrived already? Have they been practicing on the green at all? Or?
We had France here last weekend. They came for a sneak preview and were here for 3 days, but other than that, nobody else has arrived yet. Yeah.
So when do they start to come? Obviously the tournament starts on the 2nd. Is there a fixed day what they've got to be here by? Or?
Yeah, obviously it's the official opens on Monday the 2nd, but most of the countries will be arriving over the weekend, so the green will be available for them. We've got Australia, New Zealand, Canada, they're the long distance ones, France, Switzerland, Hong Kong, Tonga, Israel, Pakistan, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Guernsey, and of course England.
Fantastic. And I mean, to have that scale of a tournament in the northeast and at your club is a fantastic thing, and I'm sure you will get well supported, because people up here do love the bowls. And I just think just to get the opportunity to watch some of these bowlers from different countries is going to be amazing. So I don't know if you want to just give a few of the facts and the figures for the event, John, just to let people know obviously when they can get there, cost of tickets, etc.
Yeah, we've had pre-ticket sales of over 130 weekly tickets. You can purchase a weekly ticket which gets you 5 days for £6, so it's cheap as chips, as they say. Other than that, it's £2 a day, which again can be bought in advance. We've only got 250 seats maximum, so if you are interested, I would recommend purchasing your ticket before next week. Obviously, if we're not fully sold out, tickets will be available on the day at £2 each.
Fantastic. Is there going to be any a programme or souvenirs, anything like that that can get purchased?
We've got a full programme, and because it's the biggest event that's ever been held by the IIBC, with, as I said before, 14 countries and 40 individual players. It's quite a comprehensive programme of activities over the 5 days. So we've got quite a lot of sponsors as well, so there's sponsors information, there's information about bowling in the programme, so there's lots to read there, in between games, and obviously keep you up to date with the schedule.
Absolutely, and from my point of view, any young bowlers who are out there, northeast or local enough to be able to get there, I can't stress enough how good an opportunity this is for those bowlers to get up to this championships and watch, because that is just going to give you the incentive of where you've got to get to actually be able to potentially compete for your country in the future. So I just think it's amazing for the area, and it's great that we've got it up here. I'm certainly looking forward to coming up and watching myself. Just obviously as part of that, I'm quite interested as well, John, just West Denton, it's a lovely club. I've always enjoyed going there, and I've always been made really, really welcome. Just intrigued, I know you've been a major part of the transformation of the club since you went separate away from the council and you took over your own running. So I was just interested to know how that's going and where you've taken the club from when it was council run to where you are now.
Yeah, well, the club was, the Bowls Hall was built in 2004 and was opened by the late Sir Bobby Robson. In 2012, West Denton Community Association went into administration, so the council took it on themselves and ran it for a year, and then in August 2013 the club did an asset transfer and set itself up as a cask and a company limited by guarantee, and have been running it ever since. So when the club took over in 2013, we had less than 300 members. For the last 3 years, we've had in excess of 500 members. So we've really grown the club well. We've kept membership prices really low. It's only £40 a year to join, and ring fees are cheap as well. So basically, I wouldn't say we're at capacity, but we full most of the time.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. It's an amazing.
Benefited from the likes of when Hexham went.
Yeah, well, obviously, going back probably 10 years, Hexham closed, and we probably got 20, 30, 40 bowlers from Hexham. Newcastle City Council closed Eldon Square 6 or 7 years ago, so again we got some bowlers from there. Following that, Cramlington closed with Northumberland County Council, and Ashington closed again, Northumberland County Council. So that has benefited the club, and we have had an influx of members from there, but we've had a lot of new bowlers as well. In the 6 years that we've been running the club as an independent club, we've had over 900 separate members in that period of time. Obviously we're always about 500, just over 500, but bowls is an older person's sport traditionally, and obviously you do lose people naturally through wastage. But we normally have 40 or 50 new members every year, so the club's going really well.
Yeah. Well, the rule of thumb is generally 100 members a ring, isn't it? That's what they. If ever you're going to build a new one, that's what they say. So
yeah. Well, I know when I was instrumental in the actual building of the rink in 2004 when I worked for Newcastle Council, and Sport England's facility planning model says 100 per rink.
That's right.
So 800 would be capacity.
Yeah.
Whether you would want 800 in an 8 rink, people would struggle to get a game.
Yeah.
But we have got plans for the future, and we would love to be able to extend and go 10 rinks eventually.
Right.
And we've had plans drawn up, and they've been costed, but obviously in today's economic climate, it's, you know, you're talking about £1 million plus for an extension. So it's a lot of money, but it's a progressive club, and there's nothing to stop them doing that in the future.
And you have done wonders. I mean, like I say, I've kept sort of up to speed with what you have been doing, and it is phenomenal what you've been doing. And I couldn't recommend enough anybody who's in the area or looking to take up bowls. Northumberland has been really hit hard with regards to closures of indoor bowling clubs, and I think they're so lucky to have a club like yours there. Like I say, you make everybody welcome when you come in there, and you just get it's a nice family feel as soon as you walk in, and it's no surprise to me that obviously the numbers are going up. So obviously you've touched on the future plans, obviously with regards to going to 10 rinks. I think it would be fantastic as well. Have you any other events planned in the future that you're possibly working towards, apart from this World Championships?
Yeah, well, obviously when we took over 6 years ago, the emphasis was on getting the club a steady footing, which I think we have done over the last 6 years, and then we were going to try and get some major events. So this is the first one. It's hopefully going to be successful. You know, the whole club's built around a volunteer culture. There's nobody paid apart from the cleaner and myself as a consultant, and we have a board of directors who work extremely hard, and then for this competition alone we've got over 70 volunteers who will be working over 9 days for the preparation, the tournament, and obviously then the takedown. So some will be working a couple of hours, some will be working all week. So the whole emphasis of the club is around that volunteer culture, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's been successful, because everybody just chips in.
Brilliant, that's great. So all things going really, really well, and just a personal question to you, John, is I know you're very much into your cricket. Have we tried balls before? Have you played it before, or any plans in the future to maybe get on the green and throw some balls up?
Yes, I do play, David.
Do you?
I play with... Currently I'm playing with a team on a Thursday at West Denton, and I've been parachuted into a team with Anne Lenny, so I've got a good chance of winning most weeks. And I'm playing from January. I'm playing on a Thursday evening as well with another one of the ex-directors, Jed McHugh, and you know they've been both bowls mentors to me.
Fantastic.
So I've started to take the game on, and hopefully as I get a little bit better and can't play the sport at the level I want to for other sports, I hope to take it on a little bit more.
Well, this board's the question, which is one that I'm sure a lot of clubs relate to around the country. Did you find, because you've come from that sporting background of cricket, which is hand-eye coordination, did you find that you took the balls quite comfortably, or is it?
Yeah. I think you're right. It's that hand-eye coordination. I've played a lot of sport. I'm from a sporting family. My father was a professional sportsman, so it is getting the line, getting the feel of it, and then learning the finer things. And that's where I think I've progressed quite well, because I've learned with very good bowlers, international bowlers.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in their team, so they've taught me the tactics as much as the technique. So
Brilliant.
yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I'm enjoying the ball.
It's great to hear, because I think that is a massive market that we really need to tap into, which is people who have played in a certain sport, especially the hand-eye coordination ones, who are still very, very competitive and want to move on to something. And you know, it's no secret of the fact you can play this sport at a competitive age, you know, up until you're 78 year old in some respects, if not a little bit longer. But it is great to hear that you've obviously moved from one sport to the other, and I definitely think we need to try and tap into that market. But that's brilliant, John. I really, really appreciate you coming on. I think it was really important just for you, especially with this tournament going on next week. I'd love to see the place packed for you every week, and I'm sure it will be, because as I've said, the people up here really do enjoy watching the bowls, and I just think it's an amazing opportunity for people to go and watch world standard bowls, and see different countries and how they go about preparing for these events. So thank you so much for coming on to the show. Right then, so that's number 3 done, and we've had a bit to think about this one, about what we're going to title this one, and we've come up with A Knight's Tale, seeing as we had Andy Knapper on from Whiteknight Bowling Club. So that is the name of this podcast. One thing I do want to say before we go, there was the Women's Bowls England presentation at the weekend, so we would like to pass on our congratulations to the 3 winners in each category, which was Essex, Jasmine Wilson, who won the Junior Award. We had Lincolnshire's Penny Strong, who won the Senior Award. And last week's guest on the telephone, Sophie Tolchard, I think it was for the third time, Richie, am I right in thinking,
Right,
from
mate.
Devon. She won the women's. So congratulations to all three of you. That's it's fantastic.
I
And
think it was her appearance on this show that swung it for her, mate.
absolutely, and I think it was potentially Devon's appearance on the show that might have lost her it.
My vote, sorry, Devon. My vote, sorry.
So, yeah, congratulations to all three. It's always great to see these awards. So, the last thing I just want to touch on is an email that we had, which really, I do like to think as us as bowlers were quite a big community, and an email that sort of touched our hearts in a lot of respect. And it's very local to myself as well. But a gentleman called Wayne McMahon, who plays carpet bowls locally, he's just had some absolutely horrendous news. Wayne is a one of life's good guys, a lovely family man. And what the lads have done at Plains Farm Carpet Bowls Club, they're actually going to do a 24-hour bowlathon, and that's going to happen actually the night of the broadcast, the Friday the 29th. They're going to be at Farringdon Community Centre, starting at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, I believe. And it's going to be 24 hours carpet bowls from that point onwards. So I would love if anybody wants to pop in and see what's going on. There's going to be bowls happening all the way through the night, all the way through the day. There will be drinks, and it'll be good to watch, and it's for a massive cause. If anybody does want to help towards any donations towards Wayne, I do believe he's going to get married very soon as well. We will put a link on the page for that. Like I say, I really wanted to give that a mention today because I think it's really relevant. It's an awful thing to happen, but it also just shows what us are like as bowlers when these things happen. These things do happen in life, but all the lads have got together, they've put something on. I think they went for a sponsored walk the other day, of which there was a lot of money raised, and they're doing everything to help the team, mate. So all the best with that, everybody. And yeah, please pop along or donate if you'd like to. So that's it for today. Thanks again, Richie. Great stuff as always. And I'm sure every single Welsh person will now be switched off and will be boycotting our Wrong Bias show for your pronunciation of their towns and clubs. But I'm sure we'll try and get them back, and we'll try and work on that one for the next podcast. Thanks again, everybody.
Cheers, folks.
Thank you for listening and hope you've enjoyed the show.
This has been a Dodgy production.